Catching online predators, prosecutors are bound by state law. Some say that law is too narrow.
Investigators say these predators produce and collect child porn. They can even sexually assault children. Tonight we conclude our series of Stay Safe Online Week. Our Megan Norman joins us with more on this.
Well, Dondi and Ben, we began this week-long series to educate parents and kids about the dangers that are out there online. Now, the Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force has been working to get convictions, and they've had hundreds over the last decade. But during our investigation, we learned the law has been a roadblock for some cases.
There just has to be some form of sexual activity. That's what our current statute says.
In order for a predator to be charged with a crime, there are very specific charges.
That can be a roadblock. It's that kind of gut instinct when you see it. You think, that's child pornography, but it doesn't meet the statute, so we can't charge with that.
Bethany Miles says the law can sometimes let criminals get away with sexually explicit material.
She can even be nude, she can be bent over, she can be in lingerie, she can have her hands strategically placed where it's not sexual activity, but if a reasonable person would see it, you would think it's child pornography, and it even could be classified as that under federal statute, but in South Carolina, that's not what the law currently says.
Mark Ashley, a former high-ranking Fort Jackson soldier, was charged in 2011 with criminal solicitation of a minor, online chats, text messages. Investigators say he even used his Army-issued phone to communicate with underage girls.
Over a period of time, including on Christmas and Christmas Eve when he was with his family, he was sending text messages to this little girl wanting to engage in sexual activity.
He asked an out-of-state 13-year-old girl to send him nude photos. This is one she sent. This photo did not get Ashley in trouble.
We couldn't charge him for asking that little girl to make that picture or receiving that picture, but we were able to charge him for the solicitation.
This loophole is what State Representative Ralph Kennedy wants closed with his new bill.
Right now, a pedophile or someone else who would be exploiting children can actually have nude pictures of children in a sexually explicit state, and it's not prosecutable under the current South Carolina statute. And this would change all that.
Ashley was eventually court-martialed, followed by a dishonorable discharge. He's serving an 8-year sentence.
In 8 years, he can move on with a normal life, and this little girl has to live with whatever happened to her for the rest of hers. So the sentences sometimes don't really necessarily fit what their victims are going to have to deal with on the back end.
Representative Kennedy also wants to increase the penalty for second-degree sexual exploitation of a minor from 10 to 15 years.
There's always been a battle between good and evil. We want to be on the side of good and protecting our children.
Technology evolves not weekly but daily, and predators, the people out there on the internet, they're evolving daily.
So everyone really does have a part to play in making the internet safer for children. That includes lawmakers, parents, and the children themselves.
We're having trouble with the disconnect.
Right.
When a federal law can say that that picture we saw of that young girl who is developed and we had to blur it out is against the law, but it's not here in South Carolina.
Federally, that would be child pornography, but here, because the way the statute was written, that's not illegal to have that. But they're trying to close that, so that picture that you all saw would be considered against the law, and they could use that to charge a predator.
I'm sure this topic will come up at the forum that we're going to have later this week.
It will. Tomorrow at 7 o'clock, I am moderating a forum at the Meadow Glen Middle School. It's in Lexington. It starts at 7 o'clock from 7 to 8:30. We will have a variety of experts there to field your questions and to educate you further on internet safety. And you can